can't get that one to go. Rebounded by Mitzi. Mitzi puts it in.
Beat gets it. We're going to go up on Joy, and it's good off the basket.
Morgan, Sammy Ashton all alone for the quick lay-in.
Buster with a deep two, and it's good. Now has the ball at bounce, passes into Grieco for three, and that's 1,000 points.
HK girls basketball player herself, and we're excited for this one because HK is on a 2-game win streak, and Old Lyme, they're pretty good. They have a solid record. They're 4-2 so far, and there's the tip. So here we go. It's won by Old Lyme. So, Hattie, back when you played in your freshman and sophomore year, how has the team changed from losing all these seniors that they did last year?
I mean, it's always been kind of a younger team. I remember my freshman year, we came in and there was 10 freshmen, 1 sophomore, 1 junior, and 2 seniors. So they're kind of in the same situation. I mean, this year they're starting with Tara Murphy, who's number 44, and Deja Rich, who's number 20, and they're both seniors. But there's still the rest of their lineup. There's 2 sophomores and 1 freshman.
That really does describe how much the team is younger this year for sure. So last year they lost 3 seniors, Alex Stevenson, Megan O'Brien, and Rachel Cody. And those are 3 significant losses because Alex Stevenson was a sharp shooter from mid-range and from downtown, as they say. And Megan O'Brien was a small forward, and she played every minute of every game, which once you lose someone like that, that's hard to beat. And then Rachel Cody was a first-year player, and she added a lot of minutes from off the bench.
Last year they had a tough year as well because Deja Rich and Tara Murphy were both hurt for the entire season. So coming back from that, the team's at an advantage this year.
All right, so that's Belle Carini with her first rebound of the game. So HK is a commanding 1-0 lead about a minute into the game so far. Deja Rich, one of the many ball handlers HK has this year. Coach Ann Diver, the assistant varsity coach, really loves how they have a lot of ball handlers. They have what she considers to be 4 strong ball handlers, starting with Deja at point guard.
And she was also saying how there's always 4 ball handlers on the court at all times, which is different from last year when there was really only 1, and that's what they were relying on the whole time.
It is a big difference because with having 4 ball handlers versus just 1 primary, that can break a lot of presses and zones that they talk about, and that's what they expect a lot from Old Lyme tonight. They have a lot of, they switch defenses often. They have a full court man, and it looks like they're retreating back to the half court, but it'll turn into a zone or a man. So that's something that HK has to look for tonight. Tara Murphy takes a hard hit on the paint. That's a 3 for Old Lyme, and that goes in. So Old Lyme takes a 3-1 lead 2 minutes in. Missed shots is the big story that Miss Diver talked about with HK. After starting the season 0-5, and that's an and 1 for Anna Biondi. She'll go to the line. But missed shots is a big thing that she's talked about. So after starting the season 0-5, but in the last 2 games, they have won, beating Portland most recently. It's rebounded by Old Lyme. Deja and Tara are both the defensive standouts for HK. Tara coming off her 3rd straight game with 20-plus points, which is absolutely outstanding. Coach Diver cannot say enough about her and Deja as captains. They lead by example, she says.
Also tonight, making her debut on varsity for the starting lineup is Ella McGlynn, who's a freshman, number 24. Their starting lineup has been kind of jumbled, but they're trying everybody out, and she's doing very well so far.
So Deja Rich fouled on the shot. She'll take 2.
And they're subbing in number 4 for Old Lyme. That same sub, Taylor Thompson, is taking the ball down the court.
HK started with a 2-3 zone down below, and that seems to be their primary, as Coach Dybert says. It seems they are getting past the 2 top as Deja Rich is up top primarily, but that's another score for Old Lyme, 9-5. Old Lyme with the lead. Seeing the ball movement with all the ball handles that HK has, they're confident with each and every one of them taking the ball up court. It's rebounded by Tara Murphy, and she puts it back in. 9-7 now, halfway through the first.
HK's back on a 2-3 defense, as Ross has said before.
So the top 2, Anna Biondi and Belle Carini, passing it back. Deja Rich has not touched the ball in this possession. Coach Dybert describes how the ball goes through, when the ball goes through Deja and Tara, that's when they find their most success. And you can see Tara now getting in more action.
Interception by Old Lyme, number 5.
It's a risky pass by Tara down below. Definitely a jumbled 2-3 right now. Deja with a contested 3. Rebounded by Tara Murphy, and she'll bring it down. She's a big man, but she definitely has a lot of potential with the ball handling skills. Now, primary point guard, Deja Rich, will take it up. Downloaded Murphy. HK slow to retreat as there's 2-on-1. Lyme can't finish it. That's Rivera fouled in the paint. She'll take 2. That's Tara Murphy on the foul.
Emily Rivera from Old Lyme will be taking the top foul shot. Subbing in Destiny Pendleton, number 5 for Ella McGlynn.
As Ella McGlynn subs out, Ms. Diver said that as Ella McGlynn is coming into the game, I should say, it is her first game back after suffering ankle injury early in the year, and Coach Divert expects her and Tessa Wills to step up big tonight, as they're both freshmen, because of the somewhat jumbled starting lineup that they see. Murphy with an aggressive rebound. Taking it all the way herself. Rebounded by Rich.
Grabbed by Destiny.
They call travel before coach's timeout is granted. So 2 minutes left in the first, 9-7 Old Lyme. Old Lyme will get the ball after the travel on Destiny Pendleton. So now HK with a 3-2 up top. And that will be going down HK's way. So here's Old Lyme with a full court press, somewhat of a 3-1-1. And that ball sails on Biondi. One of the first full court presses HK has seen out of Old Lyme. So HK is sticking with the 3-2, and that's a deep three. No good. Tipped around and out of bounds, and that's going down towards HK. Missed shots from both teams, really, is the story. Old Lyme has been taking shots from deep range, and that's just not falling for them. During warm-ups, they were taking a lot of mid-range from inside the paint, and that was definitely their strength.
Sometimes the problem with HK is that we don't actually get the opportunity to put off enough shots, whether they make it in or not. It's just a matter of actually getting them up there.
Well, they've taken a good amount of shots tonight, and that's a foul. So HK will be sent to the line. The foul shots are now a thing that they must be making because they've had a few trips already. They've had the opportunity to take the lead, and in close games, that's what it comes down to is the foul shots.
If Tara can make these two, they can tie it up with Old Lyme 9-9. And there's Tara Murphy tying it up 9-9. Like I said, Tara's always been pretty significant in the foul shot department for always getting the points up there.
Yeah, Coach Dybert always says if the ball goes through them, they will be successful, as Tara is one of the sharpest shooters in the shoreline, not even just HK. She's in the shoreline. It's a fight for the ball in the paint. Jump ball, they call it. And that'll be blue ball underneath. Less than a minute to go. 9-9 through one. Old Lyme underneath. And that's good. 11-9. HK seeing another press, and that's tipped down. Murphy will try to pass that down to Pendleton, and Pendleton lays it in. 11-11, 40 seconds left in the first. Great ball movement for HK, getting past the 3-1-1 press. That's
great rebound by Carini.
Rich directing traffic, trying to take the last shot with 20 seconds to go. Over to Carini. She drives. Can't put it in. And that's rebounded by Old Lyme. Destiny Pendleton rips it away. Pass out to Rich. 5 seconds. The clock stops. 4.3. Tara Murphy called the hit. So 4 seconds left. Definitely enough time to get a full court shot off. Full court press shown here from HK. And at half court, she puts it. Does she have enough time? She doesn't have enough time. Well executed play by Old Lyme, but just not enough time to put it in. So at the end of one, 11-11, a very evenly matched game so far. Both teams dealing with similar problems. They're playing each other very evenly. They're both full court presses, and HK has already made a few adjustments, going from the 2-3 zone to the 3-2 zone, which has proven a little bit more successful.
Old Lyme has been known to press full court and half court man going throughout the game. I remember sophomore year they came in, we were tied at the beginning of the game, and then they started pressing us. We got tired, and we didn't have enough players to sub in, but I'm hoping, since it's a way younger team this year, that they'll have enough people to come in and that won't happen this year.
They definitely have a deeper lineup this year. The depth is not an issue in any means. In years past, as you were saying, Old Lyme has been a much bigger team. They were much more taller, physical. Rebounding was their strength. They were faster. And they don't really, as we've seen, they don't have any real standout players. I guess they work well together as a team and as an organization. They have veteran coaches So they move the ball well with each other, and they have historically. So it will be HK ball to start the second quarter. Old Lyme starting with a 2-3 zone. That's what Coach Diber anticipated from Old Lyme.
Belcarini open for the 3.
Old Lyme doing a nice job to hop over. That's Rich wide open for 3, and she hits it. 14-11. Deja's first points. And that is tipped away by Biondi. Jump ball. A near over the back ball on Tara Murphy gets turned into a jump ball. That's very beneficial for HK. That was an interesting call. So Deja has 3 points in this quarter so far, and Coach Diber gave her a lot of credit. She was consistent with 4 to 8 points in every game she's played so far this year. And it may not sound like a lot, but with the games they've been playing and how they've been winning games, most recently their last 2, it really goes to show that those 4 to 8 points have been important. And it's not just Deja. All players are and Bella Carini both been scoring 4 to 8 points off the bench each night as well. So if you combine her 8 points, Deja's 8 points, that is setting HK up for success. Deja take a jump shot from inside. It's rebounded by Old Lyme. And Deja's going to get called for a hit. HK not known for their aggressive play, but they're getting called on some somewhat aggressive fouls tonight. Tara and Deja both getting called on hits. HK sticking with a 3-2. Seems as if Deja's controlling the paint entirely, and that helps out as the ball is knocked away by Murphy and given right to Deja. Downtown to Murphy, and she hits it. 16-13.
Tara has 6 out of their 16 points right now, and it's good to build up a little bit of a shield because although there's a 3-point difference, foul shots and other things from Old Lyme can really get.
That's a miscue from Old Lyme. That's going down towards HK. Old Lyme looks a little confused on defense. Carini, she hits a 18-13. Take a step in with a little bit of a shorter shot. HK showing a full court press, and that's stolen by Rich. And she'll slow it down. Lyme quickly hopping into a man-off defense, rather. Tara's going to take it herself. No, she'll pass it off, and that's tipped away. Lyme 3-on-1. Rebounded by Old Lyme. Put up, and the foul. Called on the foul.
Subbing in Destiny Pendleton, number 5, and number 1, Audrey Gavin from Old Lyme.
It won't go, and HK is lucking out again. Missed foul shots on both sides so far. That's Anna Biondi off to Belcarini to Tara underneath, and she puts it in. Beautiful ball movement right there. That breaks 20 for HK. Tara's going for 4 straight games with 20-plus points. She's definitely on pace for it now. HK's a little bit confused on defense. They figured it out. Good defense by HK. Cutting down is Rivera, and she'll hit it off the rim. Rebounded by Pendleton. Biondi, one of the 4 ball handlers, will take it up court, pass it off to Carini. You can see with Deja taking some time off on the bench right now, how different the ball movement is for HK.
That's why it was so hard for them last year with her being on not 1 game, but the entire season from her knee injury.
Timeout call on HK. That is a good point, because with just Tara, she's a solid ball handler, but she's down low. She's not going to be rotating up top as much. They want to get it to her, but without the pass to the pass or the pass to the assist, it's tough for HK to get it to her.
Belle and Anna are typically known for being 3-point shooters, but when you take Deja out when she can really do almost everything on the court, it's harder for HK because they're missing a key player.
Similar to replacing Alex Stevenson and Megan O'Brien. Megan O'Brien played every minute last year, and Stevenson very much the same, but she could pass and she wasn't afraid to get the ball down into Tara. So it'll be white ball out of the timeout. Biondi off to Carini. Over to McGlynn. Somewhat of a 3-2 defense from Old Lyme, and Carini puts it in. Old Lyme quickly getting back on offense. HK still showing the 3-2. A wacky shot, and somehow goes in. Very lucky on Old Lyme. No foul was called when she hit the floor. 3 minutes left in the half. 22-17. HK on top. That's Biondi, a step in from 3, and she hits it. 24-17. HK finally finding their groove. That's a 3 from Old Lyme. No good, rebounded by Murphy. Biondi taking her time up court. Off to Murphy. You're seeing Murphy more up top now with Deja taking her break. She is set to sub in though. Carini's driving herself. Rebounded by Pendleton. She'll put it up. Rebounded by Murphy. 3 offensive rebounds. Finally taken away by Old Lyme, and a foul is called. And it'll stay on the Cougar side. Taken out by Old Lyme.
Deja Rich subbing in for Tara Murphy, which is interesting considering.
So now we'll see how they adjust with Murphy off the court and Rich now in. Rivera cutting, guarded by McGlynn. And Old Lyme strikes back a little bit, 24-19, under 2 minutes to go. Deja back to being the primary ball handler. That's tipped away. And the foul's called on Destiny Pendleton. Somewhat of a smart foul there because Old Lyme has struggled with their free throws so far. Instead of giving her a wide open layup, we'll see what she does here. she sinks them both, cutting the deficit now down to just 3, 24-21.
That was number 5, Emily Riviera, who's also in their starting lineup, and she is a senior this year.
Carini's going to take it all the way. And that's rebounded by Rivera, jump ball called. She's going to inbound it all the way back to Rich, and she's going to wrap right around. Won't fall. Rebounded by Rivera.
Well, Carini's back on defense and grabs it.
Pass off to Murphy. She'll give it off to Deja, who will slow things down. That's over to Carini. Murphy loses it. Old Lyme passed it up one-on-one. Won't fall. Knocked away, and that's going to stay underneath for Old Lyme. With less than a minute to go, it's a 3-point game.
Ella McGlynn is subbing in for Tara Murphy once again.
Knocked away, and Destiny Pendleton will pick that one up. Off to Biondi. Nice pass to Carini down below. She'll pass it off to Rich. Not many open looks for HK. 25 seconds. Carini's going to take it herself inside, and then she falls. 20 seconds to go, Old Lyme picking up the momentum. 26-21. Pass down below. McGlynn with the block. Rebounded by Pendleton. And the clock stops with 3.1 remaining in the half.
Subbing in number 13 for Old Lyme with only 3 seconds left in this quarter.
So HK.
And number 23.
So HK is going to have to deal with a full court press. Somewhat of a full court press. Seems like it's almost a 3-quarter court. 3 seconds. She's going to have to get a shot off by herself. It's up. And that's the half. So at the end of the first half, it's 26-21. HK with the 5-point lead. So a lot of missed opportunities in this first half from both sides. But it's incredible how even it all is. Coach Divert referred to the 4-2 record of Old Lyme is not incredibly impressive because of how they played weaker teams so far this year, and HK had played vastly more difficult teams, and she did not find the 4-2 record of Old Lyme all that impressive.
Sometimes it's really not about the record, it's more about how the players are able to act with other teams. I know that we were very intimidated by Old Lyme a couple years ago because they had a lot taller players. We were a very short team. We didn't really have that many players that were able to go up to them on a man-to-man defense, and that was their thunder. But now we're seeing with a shorter team, their man-to-man, it seemed not to be working really in the first half.
Not at all. It seemed like both sides had zones primarily. It was a 3-2, 2-3. And they were bouncing around with the idea of a full court press, it seemed like, on the inbound plays. So Coach Divert also got into the standings of the Shoreline Conference, and it's pretty jumbled. There's nothing special about any team, she says. It varies from 5-1 North Brantford to the 0-6 Hale Ray, but jumbled in between are a bunch of teams. Portland, Cromwell, Coggeshall, Old Lyme, all the way down to Morgan, all have 5-2 record, 4-2, 5-3, 3-2, 2-5. So it's all a jumbled mix with really no standout team.
It is a 20-game season, however, and there's 13 games left. They need their 8 wins to make states, and only the top 4 teams are going to make Shorelines. So really, with the 13 games left, you could see a standout team eventually. But for now, I'd say all the teams are pretty even.
That's right. So let's get into some of the schedules, the upcoming schedules. Let's start with Old Lyme. After tonight at Haddam Killingworth, they'll play on Friday away versus Portland, who HK beat last week. So hopefully that will be a good game. And then they come back Tuesday for a home game against Valley Regional. And then for HK, they play Old Lyme tonight, and they will travel to Valley on Friday the 12th for a big game. It's a rivalry game, HK and Valley. And then on Tuesday, they will play Coginchaug here at home. So two very big games for HK coming up, both Valley and Coginchaug. All right, so now we're going to cut to a short interview about Chester Ferry.
Marina, this is Night Stars, over.
So the day can start at 6:30 for the crew. Quite often we come in at 6. Of course, we fire up the vessel. We go through our safety, all the apparatuses that make sure everything's safe. Fire up the engines, get the boat ready for the day. Vessel starts running at 0700, and we start taking customers on this side. And usually we have a commute Monday through Friday. So we run the boat a little bit quicker, get people across. Communication is important. Got to be talking to your mates. And of course, as you can hear, we're monitoring the radio for vessel traffic and for anything that becomes an emergency that we may have to respond to on the river. And then around 12 o'clock, the other crew comes in and relieves at 1300, 1 o'clock. And this crew goes home, does their checkout, makes sure that all the funds are accounted for, and does a bank deposit. It's always been here since the birth of our country. So actually it was privately owned in the 1700s. The town of Chester bought it out after that. Then it became part of the highway department. We're in 1917, and again, it's the 100-year anniversary of that happening. And they've supported the ferry throughout all these years. You know, the vessel itself is 70 years old. So that's a testament to their commitment. Most vessels, commercial vessels don't go 70 years. But we've managed to do that. The boat's in pretty good shape. It's got new engines in it, and every 2 years we do a little steel replacement. Keep a good eye on it, keep it safe, keep it running. Some people call this the gateway to the castle. I guess tradition has a lot to do with it. I think that's one of the things that obviously is unique. People come here from everywhere, you know, all over the world. And this is part of the whole experience of being in the river valley, I think. And of course, when you're on the ferry, you get to get out of your car. Time to have a little, like a 5-minute respite, if you will. Weekends we're filled with primarily tourists. I make a point, go down and meet with some people, you know, welcome them on board, and maybe they have some questions about where to go and what to do, and we're always have suggestions. So, favorite part of the job is the people, the customers. We had some kids that came over yesterday. I was able to give them a look at the engine room and let them press a few buttons to open up the gate, under my supervision, mind you. But they really enjoyed it. So I guess that's a big part.
Now we are back, and we are going to get right into previous games for both Old Lyme and Haddam Killingworth. So Old Lyme started the year 4-0. Very different story for HK as they started 0-5. But as of late, Old Lyme is 1-2. They've taken their first 2 losses as their last 2 games. They played St. Bernard. They won 60-29. That's a big win. And then at North Brantford, they lost 46-43, and home against East Hampton, they lost 35-28.
As far as HK, over the break, they had a Christmas tournament that they competed in. They played SMSA, they lost 32-60, and they won at Bulkley 47-32. And then when they came back, when they were competing in the Shoreline Conference against Portland, who they are playing coming up next week, they won 50-40. So they are starting off their season right with a couple of wins.
Tale of 2 different teams for sure. Both teams having completely opposite games at the same time. So with less than a minute to go until the second half begins, Hattie, how would you, if you were the coach of HK, what would you change or keep the same with the start of the second half?
I'd say Medeiros has definitely noticed that Ella, who's number 24, and the freshman who's making her debut today, is getting really good on defense, getting back right after Old Lyme shoes and just going right back, putting her hands up. Belle Carini and Anna Biondi, they're always right in sync with each other, so it's easy. They know if somebody comes over and grabs the ball from them, they'll always have that other one there with them. So I would keep all 3 of those players in, and obviously Deja and Tara you have in there all the time. But if they need to be subbed out, you have Destiny. Haley Phelps is also another option, along with Tessa Wills.
All right, well, we will see if you're right as the second half is set to begin. Old Lyme has already taken the floor, and here comes HK. So it's 26-21 at the start of the second half. HK on top by 5.
Looks like HK has put in exactly who I predicted.
HK get a stick with the 3-2 zone to start, and then Belle Carini knocks the ball away. No options for Old Lyme. It's a short-range shot, and it won't go. Tipped away. And Tara Murphy who touched it last. So that'll stay with Old Lyme. HK doing a great job on defense. Not many options at all as Deja Rich taps that away. Off to Belcarini. HK's had the numbers, and that's swatted away by Rivera, but that stays HK's ball underneath. Murphy, the inbounder. HK will run a stack. Off to Biondi. She'll take a deep 2, and it goes in. 28-21, first points of the second half. No options but to drive herself and not getting by Murphy. Just stands there and acts like a wall.
That's what's good about Tara. When you have Tara in and Deja not on the bench, Tara's always there regardless if she's shooting or not. Players from all teams really have a hard time actually getting through Tara because she's so defensive and tall, which is actually coming into their advantage tonight.
She's a standout player in the Shoreline, as we've said, not just HK or Old Lyme. She's a standout in the entire Shoreline. HK running a play. And Deja will drive all the way, taking it herself, and she lays it in. Expands the lead to 7 now for HK. Fight for the ball, half court, jump ball. HK will inbound around mid-court. Belcarini, the inbounder. Deja Rich was open deep. Biondi will get it inside the yellow.
Deja and Bell are switching to the open for the 3.
Deja wide open 3. Taking it slow as Old Lyme, and she lays it in. A tough finger roll type finish. 5-point game. Deja yet again calling a play, slowing things down. 5:40 left in the third. Biondi, another deep 2, won't fall. And McGlynn will touch it as she was out of bounds. Full court press here from HK again. Easily broken by Old Lyme. Not much of a contest. Another finger roll type finish, but not even close to falling. Murphy, one of the 4 ball handlers, is going to try to take it herself. She passes Biondi outside the reach, and that'll go out of bounds, Old Lyme's ball. A few missed opportunities so far with HK passing-wise. That's stolen by McGlynn. Off to Murphy. And she banks it in. 32-25 in the 5-minute mark. HK consistent with the full court press. McGlynn having a great first game back. Highly contested shot, and it goes in. Biondi was right in her face. And that's going to be a timeout from Old Lyme. So a high intensity start to this half with HK pressuring them with a full court inbounds pass, and it worked once. They stole that, and it seems like both sides are playing with much more speed and intensity.
HK's definitely a strong suit for them is their defense. No matter what, whoever they're playing, they will always jumble the other team. And Old Lyme, especially tonight, you've noticed when they were playing both man and their 3-2 defense, you can really see it.
Old Lyme calling a timeout, most likely to kill the momentum that HK had. They weren't necessarily making buckets, but they were just outplaying Old Lyme on defense. So it'll be HK's ball underneath, taking it down.
timeout was a good breather for HK as well, because considering we have not subbed anyone in this quarter.
Rich over to Carini. Now to Biondi. Fight for it in the paint. Rich will win it, and they call a jump ball, no shot. The shot will not count as a jump ball was awarded, and Biondi's down at the free throw line. She had taken the first shot, holding her right ankle.
If Anna Biondi is out, Pendleton will go in for her.
She's going to walk off the court with a pretty heavy limp, but under her own power, so that is a good sign. So as you said, Destiny Pendleton subbing in for the injured Biondi.
They're losing a sharpshooter with Anna out, but Destiny will be able to make up for it with her work in the paint.
She had a few points she tallied up in the first half, along with a solid defensive effort. That's a three from Old Lyme. Rebounded by Murphy, not falling. Under 4 to go. 32-27. Deja crosses that one out of bounds, intended for Pendleton. That's a tough pass, trying to get it over the defender without throwing it out of bounds, or behind the basket even.
Old Lyme subbing in for number 2 and number 5. And that's Jordan Lewis and Emily Riviera.
Old Lyme going to some of their first set plays of the night. No answers from HK's really solid and strong defense so far. A hard shot off the backboard, rebounded by Murphy. There isn't a shot clock in high school. Well, just to that in college, but a lot of possessions in high school. You'd think if the shot clock was implemented, they would be a lot of violations, you'd think. So that's Rich to Murphy, and Murphy lays it in. 34-27. She's got to be near the 20-point mark.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's stolen by Carini. Coach yelling to slow it down for HK with 2:30 to go in the third. Coach Madero's calling shots from the sideline, forming his own play on the fly. Carini crossing people up, cutting through. Rebounded by, tipped out of bounds, and they're going to give it to HK. Coach Medeiros for HK will call a timeout with 2:10 remaining. This is the time where HK wants to drive away from Old Lyme and really just raise the momentum, really score, go on a run. This is when you want to start a run on either side.
They still have a 7-point cushion, but with Anna Biondi out and Destiny Pendleton in, you have to figure out your roles with her out, because some of it definitely switches. Tara's going to take on some of the roles that Anna had before, because Destiny's going to go and stay in the paint, because that's where her strong suit is.
All right, so coming out of the timeout, it will be HK ball underneath their own basket. Tara Murphy will be the inbounder. Pass deep to Rich up top. Keeping around, dump down to Pendleton. Over to McGlynn. Carini, a mid-range 2, and that is excellent ball movement by HK, and that could be the start of a run. As now 36-27. Under 2 to go in the third. That's a foul on Ella McGlynn. Successful trip to the line for Old Lyme. Murphy into Rich. That's Carini to Pendleton. Pendleton's going to take it herself, and she lays it in. That goes to show the depth that HK has with an injury and with the younger team. That's blocked by Murphy, and she's going to take it down herself, slowing things down. Looking to give it off to Deja. Carini getting a heavy workload. The ball handler, she passes that into Rich, and Rich can't finish it.
It seems that Old Lyme has definitely noticed how many points Deja and Tara have been getting up this period, as they seem to be pressing them more than the other players. Subbing in Tessa Wills for Deja Rich.
Coach Diver talked about how Tessa Wills is a freshman, along with Ella McGlynn, will both have to step up in tonight's game. And Tessa Wills had a big game in JV tonight, and now she's seeing her first varsity minutes of the night. Under a minute to play in the third. Oh, and Murphy goes down hard, but no foul. And she's a little slow to get up. Still hobbling on the other side. And a foul called on HK.
It looks like they're going to need a sub for Tara Murphy.
She is hobbling right now. Looks like she's going to stay in, though.
Foul shot missed by Jordan Lewis of Old Lyme. Both Lewis and Riviera for Old Lyme have taken about 6 foul shots for Old Lyme, but they have not been that successful.
So that's the injured Tara Murphy, who just hobbled around in the paint on the other side. But she says she's good to go with 20 seconds to go in the third. She's not coming out. That's Carini over to Murphy. Murphy's going to take a three. Won't fall. Under 10 to go. And the ball will roll out of bounds. Tipped out of bounds by HK. 7.7 remaining. Under 5. That foul called for 2.2 to go. So Old Lyme will have to get a quick shot off. Every quarter has come down to a final shot. Tipped around, passed in. Wide open opportunity, but not enough time. So that's the end of the third. We will start the fourth. 38-29 HK with a pretty solid lead, I'd say. It had a big third quarter, rather. And they held Old Lyme to as about as small of a offensive quarter as they could.
You're definitely seeing a lot from both Tessa Wills and Ella McGlynn, even from the last couple minutes. Great job on defense.
The big question that's coming out of the third quarter is if Biondi will return to the game or if she's out for the remainder of the game. And how significant is Tara Murphy's injury? Will she stay in or will they force her to come out? She's not one to want to come out. I know that for sure.
I know what's going on in Murphy's head right now is she does not want to let the team down. With one player in the starting 5 already down, she does not want to be the second player. They do have a 9-point cushion right now, but if she comes out, I don't know if that would stay.
All right, so the fourth quarter is set to start. 38-29, HK on top. And it'll be HK's ball at half court. Pendleton up top as a ball handler, taking it around herself, and she's denied at the rim. She went for the ball as her feet were out of bounds, so that's going to go down towards Old Lyme. So Old Lyme stepped right out of bounds. Tara Murphy with solid defense, pushed her to her weak side out of bounds. Seeing Tara Murphy more up top as a ball handler since Biondi's injury. Murphy, contested three, won't go. Jump ball underneath.
Emily Riviera is coming back in for Old Lyme.
.32 with less than 7 to go.
Deja, number 20, gets that 2-point in the paint.
The intensity definitely rising here at HK. 40-32. Rebounded by Rich. And a foul called.
HK is starting to press going into the last 6 minutes of the game.
Lyme going into a man now. Full court man press. And it pays off. They won't get it all the way in.
Tara
Tara
Murphy.
denies. The foot race. Deja's going to have to slow it down as she's outmanned. Oh my gosh, Murphy with another denied. It will be a foul. Or did it just go out of bounds?
With the game going so back and forth like that, HK and Old Lyme was just making careless shots. They weren't really planning it. They couldn't run any plays, but I think that with this, they'll be able to slow it down.
So that was a clean block by Murphy. Another one. Yet another block for Murphy. Just went right out of bounds. HK forcing really tough shots. But Old Lyme's drawing fouls.
More foul shots for Jordan Lewis, who has not had that much success with these throughout the game.
40-33, a 7-point game with less than 6 minutes to play. So she goes 50% and a jump ball underneath. And that'll go back down with HK. Full court man. Tough for HK to break, but they get it into Deja, and she's going to take it all the way herself. Can't let it fall. Rebounded by Old Lyme. And Rich is going to be called on a defensive foul.
HK is putting Tessa Wills in for Destiny Pendleton.
Tessa Wills checking in a crucial part of the game. Tara Murphy with another deflected pass. Nothing can get by Tara. That's Carini. Off to McGlynn. Wills. Over to Murphy. Back to Deja. And in the attempt to get it down low to Murphy, it's knocked out of bounds and it'll stay HK's ball underneath their own basket. Just over 5 minutes to play. And a 7-point game. That's Murphy. Won't go again. Another foul on HK. Less than 5 to go.
Deja Rich has to be careful going into the final 5 minutes of the game. She has at least 3 fouls that I know about.
So a timeout on White, we call. HK takes another timeout with 4:59. 7-point game. So it's getting down to the most intense part of the game with a 7-point lead for HK. How do they keep that cushion, and how do they not allow Old Lyme to make any sort of a run here?
I mean, as I said, Deja's definitely going to have to be a little more careful now, but that definitely eliminates some of the things they can actually do in the last minutes of the game. If Deja does foul out, however, they're going to have to put in either Pendleton or Ella McGlynn.
All right, so you were saying before how Deja is pretty close to the foul marker she's got to watch, and so she does have 4 fouls. So she definitely has to watch out in the closing minutes of this game, because the last thing HK needs and the last thing Deja wants is for her to get subbed out.
In order to eliminate this, however, they can put either Belle Carini or Anna Biondi as point guard, which would help them and help Deja avoid another foul.
That's right. It's all about the depth for HK. They have options. They have 4 solid ball handlers that Coach Divert is confident with using any of them, and she loves to have all of them on the court at the same time.
Great defense by Ella McGlynn, and now it is back to HK.
Denying Old Lyme yet again. Risky pass by Tessa Wills.
Tessa Wills is doing a great job on defense. She seems to be one of the more quicker players on the court as well.
Definitely a defensive standout so far in her few minutes she's played. Passes that in to Murphy. She'll pass it off to Rich, and it won't finish. In and out. And Deja's going to fight for it, and she's called on another foul.
That is the 5th foul on Deja Rich. They're putting Destiny Pendleton in.
And Destiny Pendleton is in. Deja Rich is out. Under 4
Judging
minutes to
by
go.
the Old Lyme crowd, it looks like that's what they were going for. I don't know if that timeout that Old Lyme had, if that's what their strategy was, but it definitely seems like it the way the crowd reacted.
They know Deja and Tara, they're the top scorers on the team. 2 of the more standout players in the Shoreline, as Coach Divert always describes. And if you can take at least one of them out, and you know that one of them is going to be out for the remainder of the next 3 to 4 minutes, that's a win for Old Lyme. Being pushed out of bounds is Pendleton. And a lob pass all the way down floor. And Old Lyme puts it in, and a timeout by Old Lyme, 40-35. 3:32 remaining in the 4th, a 5-point game. This game has lived up exactly how Miss Divert said. She said it was going to be an even game. She anticipated it being even with their records. Old Lyme coming in at 4-2, and HK coming in at 2-5. You wouldn't, on paper, this wasn't made out to be a very great game, but it came in with their record not being very impressive. In Coach Dybert's words, he said that Old Lyme has played a pretty easy schedule, and she was anything but impressed. So if HK can hold up here and get their 3rd win of the season and 3rd win in a row, there's nothing to hang their heads about starting the season 0-5.
What we're going to see from Old Lyme, or what we traditionally see, in other words, they're going to start pressing for HK big time because it's the last few minutes of the game, and they took Deja out. So now whatever the somewhat weaker players they put in now, they're going to try to pressure them, get in their heads just so that they can get their shots.
Carini, the primary ball handler, trying to get it into Murphy. Murphy won't let it fall. They're not going to call a jump. They're going to call it on Pendleton.
Number 5, Emily Riviera, coming up for another foul shot.
And it's an offensive rebound by Old Lyme after the missed opportunity. Tipped around. Rebounded by Old Lyme again. 2 offensive rebounds. And that won't fall. Rebounded by McGlynn. Trying to get it off to Carini. Over to Murphy.
This is when having those ball handlers is key, because last year when there was only the one, we would not have been able to get out of that situation.
Tipped out of bounds. HK ball.
Pendleton has got to be a little more careful with her hands as well, because right now she has 4 fouls of the 8 from this quarter.
So that's inbounded quickly, stolen by Old Lyme. That's a deep 3. Won't go. Rebounded by Old Lyme. Offensive rebounds killing HK right now. And they finally execute. Old Lyme 40-37. A 3-point game.
With 2 minutes to go, the lead is down to 3 points, so hopefully HK can keep this up and maybe get some more shots up as well.
So they're going to give it back to Old Lyme. Underneath, and that's going to be stolen by Pendleton, but stolen back by Old Lyme. 2 minutes to go, 3-point game. A 1-possession game, which it hasn't been in a long time.
Tara Murphy staying in the paint. She knows that one of the Old Lyme players will be driving in.
They dip it right over Murphy, and they get it in. It's a 1-point game. With less than 2 minutes to go, HK's lead is now very, very slim. HK putting a lot of trust in Murphy. And HK will call a timeout.
When it gets down to be this close, and when we really don't have any more people to sub in, traditionally Medeiros has been known to have HK get fouls so that Tara or Ella or Destiny or really anybody out there can just put up some more foul shots and get even an extra 2 points to help us out.
So we're coming off an 8-0 run from Old Lyme. 40-39. So we talked about the run earlier in the game. 8-0 run for Old Lyme puts it within 1 below HK, 40-39, with only 1:32 to go. The crowd making one of their first appearances in the game. White ball at their own bench. Gotta get
gotta
in
throw
5
it in.
seconds. So they're letting Murphy take over as the ball handler. She'll take it herself, and it won't fall. Old Lyme going down to take the lead. Underneath, and it's in. Old Lyme takes the lead, 41-40.
If HK can get even one more shot up, it will win them this game and continue their winning streak.
So now if you're a coach, do you waste time? Do you hold the ball, slow down your possessions, or you just go, go, go?
Madero's typically does not like to slow it down so that we just have the ball, because we've done that before and then it ends up being in the final 10 seconds and that shot that you were counting on to win the game doesn't go through. And it's better, in his opinion, to just take more shots and get as many up as you can, especially coming down to the last 2 or 3 possessions.
I would imagine both sides would definitely have 2 or 3 more possessions in the game. So maximizing the opportunity is what Coach Maderos will most likely want to do here. A minute 12 left, down by 1 is HK. HK's ball facing a full court press. Carini, the inbounder, to Murphy. Carini will take it up herself, and she's got a lane. She'll then slow it down. Into a lane to Murphy, and Murphy can put it in. She'll take the lead with less than a minute to go. Old Lyme fast-paced. Takes a shot. Won't fall. Offensive rebound and a foul. 47 seconds. Sending Old Lyme to the line.
We have not seen Brittany DeRowan at the line yet, so I'm not sure how these foul shots will add up going towards their lead.
Sinks the first and ties it at 42.
Tie game, but if HK can get the rebound and go on the way back, make the shot, then they will be once again in the lead.
She sinks them both, and Old Lyme takes the lead. 43-42. 45 seconds to go. Carini's got a lane again. Into McGlynn. Out to Murphy. Contested 2. Won't go. Rebounded by Old Lyme. They'll slow it down. 30 seconds. 1-point game.
Old Lyme is definitely going to try and slow the ball down here so that HK cannot get it and make any more shots in this quarter.
And that's stolen by McGlynn. Out to Wills. Pass to Murphy. 15 seconds. And HK has the ball. Murphy drives. She throws it up and she's hit. Murphy hit it going for the shot. 12.9 seconds, and it's a 1-point game. Sending easily the best shooter on HK to the line. HK would not want anyone else in the line in this situation. A 1-point game with 12.9 seconds to go.
A lot of pressure riding on Murphy, but she can definitely handle it.
Sinks the first. Tie game, 43-43. Misses the second, it's knocked out of bounds. And it's HK's ball with 12.1 to go.
They just need one more shot in order to win this game.
Kareem will inbound. No one to pass to, and his pass right to Old Lyme. Old Lyme is fouled by Tara Murphy. Smart foul. 9.9 to go. Sends Old Lyme to the line. That's Murphy's fourth.
This is Emma McCulch from Old Lyme. We have not seen her at the line as well, but I imagine they're trying to imply the same strategy that HK just did with Tara Murphy.
Sinks the first, and the Old Lyme takes the lead by 1. Crucial out of bounds play after Murphy's foul shot. Sets up Old Lyme for 2 foul shots. And they will hit them both. So there's a timeout by Old Lyme with 9.9 to go. Up by 2. HK will be retrieving the ball, traveling down the court. So now do they go for a game tying 2, or do they try to win it with a 3?
Honestly, that's a pretty hard call right now considering who is in, and I know that all of them are tired. If Tara is able to get the ball, she can really get either a 2 or a 3, but it depends on how much pressure exactly that Old Lyme is going to put on her, because they know that she is going to be the one that HK passes to get this winning shot.
Yeah, there's no question about who they're going to pass it to, or who they're going to try to get it to for the winning shot or the tying shot. But what's the shot going to be, a 2 or a game-winning 3?
If they're going for a 3, they do always have Belle Carini in mind, because she's known for hitting her 3s last minute.
Tara Murphy's taken a few deep-range shots in the second half, and they haven't fallen. She's only gotten her points in the second half, at least, through layups. So will the coach rely on her to take a mid-range or a deep 3? We are about to find out with 9.9 to go. And a 2-point lead for Old Lyme with HK inbounding down court. Carini the inbounder. Into Murphy. Off to Carini. 6 to go. And that ball's knocked out of bounds. And it stays white ball.
Exactly 5 seconds to go.
5 seconds to go, 2-point game. Inbounded by Carini.
As long as they can get a shot up before the 5 seconds is up and make it, they will be all set.
And we're going to have a timeout from HK. A 60-second timeout. All right, so the suspense and the anticipation for what will happen in the next 5 seconds will continue.
Madero seems to be drawing a last-minute play in order to get this shot up 100%.
My bet is they'll take for a 2. We'll go to a tie and force overtime. I say that's what HK's been doing successfully so far in the second half and how they've gotten the majority of their points. So it's no, and with where they're going to be inbounding the ball near their bench, it's no use trying to go for a game-winning 3. Drive in, take an easy basket.
I also don't think that Old Lyme would even let HK be open for a 3 at this point.
Right. That's a good call. I think this is a tough decision. Glad we're not making it. This is all on the. This is why the coaches do their thing. All right, here we go. 5 seconds left. HK has drawn up the game-winning play. Carini to inbound. 5 seconds left. They don't have all day. Pass off to Murphy. Murphy for the winning 3. And it won't fall. Puts it up, and a jump ball with 0.1 seconds. Do they put any time left? 0.1 seconds. That's not nearly enough time to get a shot off. That's going to be have to tip in.
Ultimately, it'll be up to the refs.
Coach saying you're just going to have to lob it up and hope they tip it in. And on instant, the game is over. And the final score, Old Lyme 45, HK 43. So a really great job on both sides. A really hard-fought game coming down to the last. Hard-fought game on both sides, evenly fought, and
Evenly matched players as well, I noticed.
very true. There was not a. Neither team had necessarily standout players. Obviously, Tara Murphy and Deja Rich for HK were their big players. But they weren't necessarily having their best games of the year. They didn't outplay Old Lyme as much as we might have anticipated.
Fouls were definitely a killer for HK in this last quarter especially. If Deja did not foul out, we might have seen a different turnout for HK. I'm not saying that their loss is specifically because she is injured, but with her fouling out and Anna Bionda being injured, they're losing 2 key players from both their starting lineup and the team in general.
That's right. Coach Diber talked about Deja scoring a consistent 8 points, and she was on pace for much more than that in her performance tonight. But unfortunately, HK fell just a little bit short. So HK, after tonight's game against Old Lyme on Friday, will play away at Valley Regional at 7 p.m. And then again on next Tuesday versus Coggins here at home at HK. And also after tonight's game against Haddam Killingworth, Old Lyme will play Friday away at Portland. And on Tuesday, they will have a home game against Valley Regional. So big games coming up for both teams in the race for the top of the Shoreline standings. So HK's record now is 3-5. They're on a 3-game win streak, and Old Lyme drops to 4-3. So HK on the 3-game win streak will be contending with Valley, who they play on Friday. So that's a very big game in the standings. Valley sitting right now at 3-2. HK improving now to 3-5. So that game against Valley is a big one.
We just saw Anna Biondi going back to the locker room. Her injury seems to be significant, so we're hoping that she will be back for Friday's game. But the injury, we'll see how severe it is. That may change the starting lineup, and we may see Ella McGlynn and Tessa Wills playing with Tara, Deja, and Belle.
All right, so to correct the standings, HK did not actually win tonight, believe it or not. So they dropped to 2-6. But that game against Valley is still very critical because Valley is 3-2. So Valley, I'm pretty sure, did play tonight. So depending on the outcome of that game, it's very important. All right, so that is the game. Again, final score 45-43. Old Lyme pulling it off versus HK. All right, so we want to thank you for watching tonight, and this broadcast tonight was brought to you in part by Zippo6.com. All right, so for Hattie Hall, I'm Ross Meglin, and for the entire crew, we say thank you for watching, and good night.